Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Eden Crafters. This is an early access game and we're going to be talking through everything you need to know to get started. Let's go ahead and press play. We're going to create a new world and we're going to call this Echo Prime. The reason for that is because it's the name of the planet that we're going to start on. To give you a bit of backstory, Earth's in trouble, we need to find a new planet, and so we're looking for planets that we can terraform to live on. And there's several different planets to choose from. There's Echo Prime, there's Ocean World, and there's going to be Etheria, which are the three currently available to play. Two more that are coming soon is Nova Terra in Q2 this year, and then we've got Pyraxes, which is another one. So every planet, when you start out, is going to have different challenges associated to it. You can choose different world modes. Normal means that you keep your inventory after dying. Hardcore means that planetary events can cause more damage to your base and you lose your... If you die, you lose anything on you. Creative mode, everything's unlocked, no resources required to build. And then relaxed. We're going to go into hardcore because this is actually how the game should be played. If it's your very first time doing a playthrough, then you may want to go on normal, but hardcore is what I recommend. Anything other than that just doesn't feel like a game. The size of this planet is very big, there's 0% water, and rare resources are at 60%. So we're going to go ahead, click create, and jump into Echo Prime as our starting point. Now the game's going to take you through a very comprehensive tutorial, then you're going to be left on your own. I'm going to guide you through this. The tutorial takes about an hour to complete, we're not going to speed run it, and then we need to make sure that we're being efficient and effective, because there's many ways that you can play this game. But to start off, a new objective is first steps. So we can see tutorial top left, compass top, hotbar on the bottom, and on the bottom left, temperature, as well as our health, our energy from running, and our O2. So we have to walk over to our ship, first thing we need to do, and press tab. That way we can pick up these items. We can left click and drag, or we can hold left shift just to instantly move them. All right. So your spaceship doesn't have any energy cells, but you can still refuel your oxygen in the cockpit. So you see our oxygen is going down. This is an inhospitable planet. So we're going to jump inside to get our O2 back up. All right, we're going to press 1 to equip our multi-tool, and then we're going to look around to find some iron ore. We're just going to click it to pick it up. So very, very simple. You can see iron ore. We can also see some copper. And this has got an incredible range on it, by the way. We can pick up quite a lot of stuff. So what we're going to do, pick up the sulfur. We're going to pick up the iron ore and just all of the things that we see in the immediate vicinity without us having to move or do anything. Just whatever we can see that's right in front of us, we're just going to pick it up. Just a few bits. Cool. All right, so that's done. Also, we can get anything off the ground if we want to. So if I wanted to, I can actually do that, and you'll see, there you go, I've actually put a hole in the ground now, which I can fall down. Or I can do these rocks as well. If I don't like these rocks, I can press X and I can delete them. And not only does that matter for small ones, it works for the big ones as well. So if you want to clean up the area, you can do that. All right, once we're done and we're happy with that, we press V and we can deploy our drone. Our drone lets us look around in a much bigger area. And that is our first steps. We can also use our drone to be able to mine the same way as we do with our hand tool. And we can use it to interact. It's basically us, but in the air. The drone can only move a certain amount of distance from your player character, though, so please bear that in mind. All right, new objective, your first base. We need to build a living compartment. First, you'll need to establish your base. Living compartments are where your oxygen will refill and where you can place some equipment. So, heading back down, we're going to get into our ship because we need to do that. And we're going to come out of our ship. Now we've got oxygen, and we're going to press Q. Q opens up the build menu. We've got tasks, where you can see a crafting guide, your first base. This is what we're doing right now in our tutorial. Our inventory, where we can see our health, our energy, and our oxygen. We can see the build menu, and we can see the map, which is where we are. Plus, if we look around, it shows us all of the different areas of what we are, where we are, and what we're doing. So we can see at the moment, we've got our ship. We've kind of got our little base there. We're going to go into the build menu. And as we scroll down, we can see we've got production, logistics, base, furniture, foundations, and vehicles. But at the moment, we are looking for the base compartment. Now, if I right-click on an item, it will pin the ingredients to the top right. If I left-click, it will assign it into the hotbar. That's it. That's as simple as that. That's all we need to do at this stage. So what we're going to do is we're just going to place this down. We only really need a single base. So we're going to rotate it with the mouse wheel, get the wheel to where we want it, and we can place this down. And we're going to place it down right in front of our ship, just here like this. We can also place them on top, to the side. We can extend them and build them if we want to. But that is our base. If we press Q, we can now go ahead and build a workbench. Now it tells you to build a workbench inside, but I'm going to tell you to build your workbench outside. I'll explain why shortly. So workbench, build it outside. Now we've built that, we've got a few more items that are available to us. But here's the cool thing. From inside our base, if we press V, we can deploy our drone. And we can interact with our workbench, which is why we have it outside. Because now I can interact and I can do anything I want. I can fly around within reason. I can't go too far. But I can pick up all these items. I can fly back around to here and I can use this. Now I need to build what it says is a living compartment. It is an electric panel. So we're going to add an electric panel now. We'll pin it and we'll left click it. So we can see we need some cables. Well, to make cables, we need copper ingots. So the way this works is we have iron ore, which makes iron ingots. Iron ingots make either iron plates or iron rods. Copper ore makes copper ingots. Copper ingots make either copper plates or cables. Stone makes cement, and quartz makes silica. Very, very simple so far. So we need cable. So we're going to go for 2 copper ingots, just left click. And we're going to go ahead and make cable. If you hold shift and left click, it will make 10 if available. Until there's no more. We'll make a cement. Go back inside. And now we need to put down this wall. So we'll just chuck this wall on the back here. That's now done. Alright, so now we've got a few new items that we can craft. One is the plant grower. Windows and other things like that. So we can extend our base by putting them side by side. We don't need to at the moment. This is actually more than big enough for us. But yeah, it shows you what you can do if you want to. So again, if I wanted to put more down, I could. I'm not going to do that at the moment. We're now moving on to equipment. So crafting some more complex items before we can create more advanced machines, we'll need some new equipment. So the first thing it's going to tell us is it's going to tell us to make this plant grower. For that, we need quartz and rock. Okay, so first thing we need to do, we can go and have a little look around. We're looking for quartz, which is up here. There's one. There's another one just there. It's like a little gem. And we need to get some rock. We can get that from here. Nice and easy. Now we're actually going to get 4 rock. There we go. We're going to find ourselves a little bit more in terms of the iron ore. Because we want to make a couple more iron plates. Okay, so that's going to make another plate. And we're going to see if we can find just a tiny bit more quartz. Now, again, if we can't find anything close to us, we can run around. Rock deposit there. Can't really see much around here. There's a little bit there. We'll grab that. And there's actually a little bit there. We'll grab that as well. Perfect. 1 spare. That's it. So now we've got enough. And the reason for that is we're going to make 2 of these plant growers. I recommend making 2. We just put them inside. Put 1 there. You can now, if you want to, you can press the middle mouse wheel, click it, and it will take the last item and allow you to put another one down. We need another plate. So for that, we're going to make iron ingots. Make a plate. Middle mouse wheel this. Put this down, and we've now got 2 plant growers. This is going to make organic, which it produces at 6 per minute. Organic, if we get them, I'm just going to wait. We'll get 2 off of that one. And then we're going to take 1 off of that one to give us 3. Come outside to the workbench, scroll down, and we can make a food can. So food can is going to allow us to eat. If we look at our health here, if we were to right click on this, it will give us our health. So 25, 50, 75, 100% health. Great. We're now full health. We have to eat, otherwise we'll die. All right, the next thing we need to build is a miner. So we're going to do the same thing. Going to right click, iron plates and cement. Nice and easy. For that, we're going to need rocks. Well, 3 rocks. So we're going to need 6 rocks in total. Okay, and we're going to need iron plates. So we'll make these iron ingots. All right, so now we can see what we need to do. Some copper. Some iron ore. And that's what we need to do, is come and get this iron ore. Now you'll notice to the right of me, there's this big structure here, which is a large iron deposit. And we're going to head to that in a moment. But we need the miner first because we can't mine that with this handgun. So what we're going to do, and these ones, by the way, again, we can just delete these. We actually don't want these large rocks. They're just in our way. We're going to clean up the area a little bit. We'll leave one just outside for now. But that's everything we need. So we're going to make our 2 cement. And then we're going to make our iron plates. Okay, so that's everything we need. We can now walk back over to that iron deposit. And we can place our miner down on top of it. So we can middle mouse wheel to scroll around. Get it to where it is. Let go. Press E and it is now making 30 per minute. But our oxygen's low, so we need to go back to our ship. And here is where it gets interesting, because from here, we can go into our base. We can press V, and we can head over towards this miner. We don't even need to get close to it, and we can pick this up. So what's really cool about this is not only can we access our miner from here, so if we get close enough, we can also access our workbench. So I can literally stand here or fly here in the drone whilst I'm inside the base. And by the way, inside the base, I've still got oxygen. And so this is a very effective way now for me to be able to pick up all the items I need and make the things I need. Now it says building an assembly bench will allow you to craft advanced parts, machines and items. Now you might be tempted to build another miner and to put it on the rock, and you can, but I wouldn't. I'd wait. What I would do is what the tutorial tells you, and that is to make an assembly bench. So to make an assembly bench, all we need to do is make 2 iron plates, nice and easy. We then need to make iron rods, so we're going to make as much iron ingot as we can. From that, we're going to make as many iron rods as we can. From iron rods, we're going to be able to craft a gear. We need 2 gears. And we also need to take our copper ingots and make a copper ore and make copper ingots. And then from that, we can make cable. So iron plates, gears and cable, nice and easy. Once we've done that, we can then place this. And look, we can even use the drone to lay out where it should go. And again, we're going to place this outside. Very important that we place this outside, because now we can access it in exactly the same way. So we can come over to the miner. Oh, if you click on it and you've misclicked, or you click away from it, it'll just take you away from the drone. So make sure it says E. We'll grab those 20. Now we can come back. And while we're here, we can just make some more iron ingots. Now the tutorial is telling us that we've just unlocked a load of new items, which is great. We can see that. We're not going to sit there and worry about that too much at the moment. We're just going to make some rock. Trying to be as efficient as we can at this stage. Brilliant. And then we're going to go ahead and make some cement. So we've got our iron ingots, we've got our copper ingots, we've got our cement, we've done what we can. And now the tutorial tells us that we've completed the equipment stage. Now we're moving on to automation. So powering advanced machines, the more advanced machines will require a lot of electricity. Each power source, such as a wind turbine, is automatically connected to a local network that powers nearby machines. Alright, so use the build menu to place a wind turbine. So far so good. We're going to build ourselves 5 of these plates, which is nice and easy. We'll come back over to here, make sure we go to the miner, grab that 20 ore. We'll come back again, workbench. So far you can see a nice, simple, easy way to be able to do this, but we don't want to be crafting. It's going to take too much time to do that. What we want to do is we want to build ourselves a wind turbine. We're going to go ahead and place that down now. So we can place it pretty much wherever we want. It doesn't matter. I'm actually going to place it at the back of the ship here. And I like to try and use the grid where I can. I think it makes it a lot easier for us. But I'm actually going to place this just here. Now we've got 7 megawatts of power in our network, of which we can see 100% to 0 demand. All right. So now that we have this, we can now make an advanced miner. Now an advanced miner takes a little bit more work. So we're going to have to get a couple more rocks. Just to get that cement. Next thing we have to do is come back to here. We're going to be doing a lot of this at the moment. Grab that 20. Come back and we're going to have to make some more iron ingots. To make iron rods. To make gears. So we know how to make gears. So we'll do those first. Once we've got all of the rods, we'll make the gears, then the rods, then the iron plates. So very simple. We know what we're doing. We can stack these up to make 4 of them. Brilliant. We need 1 more. So we're going to wait for this now. We'll check. Almost at 20. We'll just do a few more while we're here. So we need to do 1 more. That's the iron rod done. And now we need to do iron plates. So only need another 3. And that's going to take, as we know, it takes a few of these. So we'll grab those. Convert these. And we need 1 more. There we go. So that's going to be enough now. All right, let's go ahead and change what we currently have. We're actually going to go outside to do this because we want to get a little bit closer. Now we can move up to this and we can press X to remove it. And whatever it costs, we're going to get some of the resources back plus what's inside. Not everything, but we'll get some of it back. Great. Now what we can do is put down the advanced miner. And so what we're going to do and the way we're going to do this, we're going to place it down very simply like that. That is very easy and that is now down. If we look at it, it is now making a lot more. All right. And it's got 3 slots rather than 1, so it can hold up to 60. Well, that's good news so far. But now it says we need to use the conveyor to connect the advanced miner to a forge, which means we need to be able to make ourselves a forge. So this needs iron plates and cement. All right. Well, we know what to do to make cement. Very easy. Just grab 9 rocks. We'll go ahead and craft those. And now we need those iron plates. We've already got so many iron ingots now. We can go ahead and make these iron plates. And that's it. We've got enough of those. So now because of that, we can go ahead and place down our forge. Now, the way that I would recommend doing this, because we don't really need any ore. Ore to us is pretty worthless. But what we do want to do, and by the way, we can change our angle and where we're looking at to try and line this up. And we can either do it from the floor on the ground or we can do it from up here. We're going to place this down. And then we're going to use the the conveyor. If we press number 2, we hold it in our hotbar and it won't disappear. So what we're going to do now, because we've got those extra plates that we just crafted, we're going to go from the miner. We're going to go into here. So there's an input and an X and an output that you'll see. So what we've got now is all of this in here. And we'll just chuck these in here. In fact, if we don't want them, we can actually delete these by pressing X if we don't need them anymore. Because this is now full. We've got so many of these. And these are coming down into here. And these are now making iron ingots. So we're now producing 60 iron ingots per minute. New objective, terraformation. Transforming the planet. The atmosphere has a very low percentage of oxygen. Introduce some vegetation to create a sustainable source of oxygen. And this is kind of the outcome of the game, is to be able to terraform the planet at the moment. But before we go into the terraformation, and this has only been about 15 minutes so far to get to this stage, we have to understand that in order to build this takes 3 megawatts of power, and so does this. Meaning that whilst both of these are working, they're going to take 6 megawatts of power. Well, the problem that we have with this is that we're only making 7 megawatts at the moment, so we're going to run out of power. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a container. Container V1, it takes 10 plates. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these iron ingots. We're going to come back to our crafting bench here and we're going to make the plates. Now conveyors need plates, as do the containers. So we're going to make sure we get a few more. We'll grab some more of these. We'll grab all of these, in fact. And we're just going to make as many of these plates as we can for now. So we've got loads of spare. Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves a container. We're going to use loads of these. So we'll set this as a hotkey. As we've got 2 and 3 now that are set. And for this, what we're going to do is we're going to come out of here. And we're going to place this, give it a little bit of a gap. And place it just here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go from one to the other. And so now all of these ingots are going to come straight into here. And that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. Now, when the ingots are in here, that's fine. That whole part there can actually be done quite close together. We don't need a gap for any of this. If you want to tidy it up, you can. But now we're building all of these up into here, which is great. What we need to consider is, well, what if we want to build something? And so if we go back to what we was at before in the build menu, we've now got this thing called a part producer. So before we get carried away with Terraformation, let's set up a little bit of automation just to make our life a bit easier. So we're going to need circuit boards, cement, gear, and these are all things that we have to build, right? So in order to do this, we know that if we get a little bit of cement and we get a few rocks, let me just head out to do this part. We'll get rid of that one and we'll use this one. So if I go ahead and grab these, I can then go ahead and craft these. And what I'm trying to do is make one of these because now I can place this on here and what was over there is now here collecting stone. So that is a bit of progress right there. This is now filling up nicely with ingots. I'm getting a lot of ingots. But what I want to do is I want to build this, but I'm going to need iron beams, circuit boards, cement, and gears. All right, well, circuit boards. Let's have a look at what that entails. A circuit board needs copper plates and silica. All right, so it looks like I'm going to need silica. I'm going to need copper plates. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to need. So before I get too carried away automating things at this stage, let's just take a step back and let's make some more of these advanced miners. In order to make another advanced miner, I'm first going to need to make another wind turbine, which means I'm going to need to make these iron rods. So I'm still going to need to manually make things just for a moment. We're going to take this one, and actually, one of the things that we can do with this is we can place it right next to each other. Looks like they're clipping, but they work really well. They're now part of the network. They're connected, so that's good. And so now we can go ahead and make another one of these. What do we need for this? We need cement. Well, for cement, we have to click on this, get the stone. Now we can go ahead and make some cement. So that's good. We also need to make iron plates, iron rods, and gears. Well, to do that, we're going to have to make a lot of iron rods. So we're going to go ahead and make these. We also need to make gears. All right. And then we can just simply come to the box, grab some more of these, because we don't have to make these anymore. So that's already making our life easier. But we're going to work towards automating so we don't have to make any more rods or plates. That's our goal. So in order to do that, we're going to make some more iron plates. So we need to make just another 5 of these. Great. We're going to make a few extra though. And the reason we're going to make a few extra is because not only have we got one of these advanced miners, we want to go above and beyond. We also want to make another one of these as well, which means more plates and more cement. So let's go ahead. We'll empty this out one more time, and we're just going to make some more cement. So now we've got enough plates to make the miner, the conveyor belt, and we can make this as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to come outside, and we're going to run up to this archway on the left side here. So running up to this archway, up towards this large rock deposit, which by the way, we don't need. We can delete this and this one. We're not going to delete this archway. It's too nice. But what we're going to do is press V, and we're going to look over the edge here. And in doing so, you're going to see here is some copper. And copper is something that we need to make. So we're going to put this here, like so. And then what we're going to do, now this has been placed, is we're going to place ourselves a forge. We're going to place that forge. It's quite difficult to know where to get it. So we're going to try and line it up nicely if we can. Like so. And then what we want to do is go from here. And if we can, we want to try and get this. Now that's actually quite a steep drop, but it should go in. There we go. So that's going to go from here, down here, and into here. Great. So that works so far. Now what we need to do is we need to bring this down. Get this iron ore, by the way, and this sulfur. And now what we need to do is we need to bring this down here. But we don't have enough iron plates for that. So we're going to head back. And we're going to make up a lot more iron plates. And then we're going to bring this down to here. so that we've now got copper and iron coming from opposite ends. All right, our oxygen's running out. We don't want to die. We are in hardcore mode. There we go. We're back inside. Go into our menu. We've already got some food boxes, so we're going to eat one of those. So we're back to healthy again. Using the drone, we're going to come back over to here, grab a load of these, and we're just going to sit and craft ourselves quite a few iron plates. The idea for this is we're going to have a box that's going to make iron ingots, and we've got another box now that is going to make us copper ingots. That is a good starting point. So, let's head back outside. We can see where we are, just up here. So we need to bring this all the way down to here. And what we're really going to be aiming for at this point, actually, I should probably have done this first. We can see this one over here, that's fine. What we want to do is put another one of these, and let's say we're going to put this here. This is kind of a good place for it. So we've got 23 plates. I don't even know if that's going to be enough. We're going to see. Can use the drone to head up. There we go. We want to come from there down here, and that is actually going to take 43 in total. 43 in total. If we take that path, which is actually a really, really long path. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to go from here to here. And then from here to here, that's going to be a bit easier. In fact, if we hold down Alt, we can go in a straight line, which might make it even easier for us. So we'll come to there. So far, that's good. We'll come back. We know we need to make a few more. Make sure the oxygen doesn't run out, because that's important. And it's a bit of work to do this, but it's worth it. Just going to head inside, use the drone. And we don't even need to get any more. We've got loads. We're just going to make a load more plates. Okay, that should be more than enough for us. And we shouldn't even need to go out anymore, because we've brought this close enough that if we click on this and connect it, we should be able to bring this back in and connect it up to here. So here we can see the copper is coming down. It's now been mined. It's coming all the way down to here. But the problem we've got to be careful of is we've got 2 of these, which does 3 and 6, 9 and 12. So we've got 14 total, but we're using between 9 and 12 depending on what's being used. So far, so good. All right, and now we're going to have, in here is going to be copper. In here is going to be iron ingots. So far, so good. Now let's look at what we need to do next. So the next thing for us to do is going to be to create a another conveyor belt. And that conveyor belt that comes out is going to go to these, which is a part producer. But we want to take iron ingots, and we want to make both iron rods and iron plates. So we actually need to use a conveyor splitter. In order to do that, we're going to need a circuit board. So to make a circuit board, we need a copper plate. So that's fine. We just go to here, we make a copper plate. We go to there, we make a circuit board. Oh, we need silica, sorry. We don't have any silica. Silica's quite easy to make. We just need quartz. But we know now that we're going to be needing quite a lot of quartz. So the next stage for us is to be able to do that. So we're going to come over to here. We're going to take this item here, which is this conveyor splitter. And we're going to do this from here. So coming out of here, we're going to split this. We've got enough iron plates, so we can come from here to here. And now what we're going to make is we're going to make 2 of these part producers, which need cement. And in order to make cement, we already know we're going to need an advanced miner. So we're going to have to come and make some more iron rods and some more gears. Okay, let's go ahead and make 4 of those gears. And then we're going to make some of those rods. And now we're in a place where we can head out again. We're going to drop down another advanced miner. This one's going to go straight ahead. So we've gone left, we've gone right, and now we're going to go straight up here. And there is a quartz node just at the top right here. So pressing V, pressing 9. We're going to be able to put this down, and we'll put it down on the grid like so. And we're going to do exactly the same as what we did before. So heading inside, because at the moment we don't have, I don't believe we have enough. What we do is just about enough. So we're going to take out some of those. From that, we're going to use some of these. Now, quartz is something that's quite valuable. So we actually want to bring the quartz all the way down here before we actually turn it into silica. Because we might actually want quartz in the future. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop this down here, like so. And we can... we can delete that so it's not in the way. So we're going to come down here and we're going to put this down like so. And then we want to come from up here on the miner straight down to here, and we can see we're going to need 16 of these. So let's go back in, get some O2 so we don't die. And then we'll just go ahead and we'll make a few more of these. Great. Now we should hopefully be able to do this from here. So we're going to connect to this. Bring it straight down to here to connect. There we go. And now we're making quartz. So the only one that we haven't made yet, the final one, is going to be, you guessed it, we need to make some rocks. And so we're not going to use these rock deposit because these ones aren't very nice. We'll get rid of all of these little ones. Not this one because we are using that one. We're just cleaning up this area. Perfect. Now we do want to keep some rock, and there is one here, so we're going to use this one for what we need. We'll get rid of that one. And we're going to make one more of these advanced miners. Now, rocks aren't that important at the moment. We don't need to worry about them. If we come to over here, we've already got loads of copper. That's great. So we can now use that to make these copper plates. We've got quartz coming down, so that's good. So we can use that to make quartz. We can grab hold of this miner underneath us, grab the rock, and we can use that right now just to make some cement. But what we really want to make is this part producer. So in order to do this, we're going to need to make some more gears. So we're going to go ahead and make these rods. That will allow us to make the gears. And again, if we need more, we just come to here and look, we can grab all of these. We have so many now. We've got the gears. We now need to make iron beams and circuit boards. So let's go ahead and we'll make the circuit boards first. We're just making some iron rods because we're going to need iron rods for the iron beams. And we're going to need some steel plates, or some iron plates. So we'll make some of those as well. Good. Okay, so now we come to the other bench. We're going to make 2 of these. We need silica for this. We can go ahead, though, and we can make these iron beams that we need. Done. And now we need to make 2 circuit boards. So we just need 2 silica. So we turn around, grab the quartz, and the quartz can be made into silica. And that's more than enough for us to get started. We don't need any more than that at the moment. We're fine. So let's go ahead and make 2 circuit boards. Great. If we wanted to, we can keep making more, but that's okay for now. What we're going to do is we're going to place this part producer down, and we're going to place it down just on the left or the right side. Doesn't really matter. We are going to leave just a little bit of a gap between these 2 items. Got 3 iron plates, so we can connect this up. And coming into here, we're going to turn this into iron rods. And now we're making iron rods. So far, so good. So we don't have to make any more iron rods. That's nice to know. But we want to make another one of these. So in order to make another one, we need to just do the same thing again. So let's go ahead and let's make some more cement. We'll take this. We need to make circuit boards, which we know how to do now. They're quite simple, and we can make quite a few of these. So we make 2 of those. And we need to make some gears. So to make gears, let's go and take these iron rods. Great. Gradually, we're just making this process so much quicker and so much easier. And we also need to go ahead and make these, but we need iron plates. So let's switch this out now to make iron plates. Great. We can also make some iron plates as well while we're waiting, just to make the whole process just a little bit quicker. All right, we're going to go ahead and make some iron beams. Now they're done, we'll middle mouse wheel onto this one. We're going to put this down right next to it and try and get them as close as we can. And we're going to need to make some iron plates, which are there. And then all we're going to do is connect this one like so. And then this one makes iron plates. And this one is going to make us rods. And now we have automated the process of making rods and plates. Simple. Just nice and easy. We don't have anything else to worry about. And what we want to do is put them into storage. Now, we don't need them to go into individual storages. I mean, we could, or we could put them into, if we wanted to, a dual storage. Up to us. But if we want to keep them in individual, then all we would do is we would add here just a couple more of these. We're just going to go one. If we don't have enough, that's absolutely fine. Just click on that. And then we can do that. And we've got the plates already, so we can go from here to here, from here to here. All right, so we're just giving us a little bit of broom here. So now we've got iron rods stacking up, plates stacking up, and once they're full in here, we'll be stacking up ingots. So now we've got that whole process automated, but look, we're not keeping up with demand now, so that means we're going to have to make another one of these, which means we need some more iron plates, which is now very easy because we have them. So we can come around and we can have a look at what we need to do here. So we're going to put another one down and another one there. And that's how we do it. Very, very simple. Very, very easy. So we've got our wind farm, which is making more than enough. We've got our iron facility, fully automated. We've got quartz coming down here. But the problem with the quartz that we have now is, well, not the quartz so much as the problem. We need to make another advanced miner. So we need gears and iron plates. Well, iron plates isn't a problem. Iron rods is easy. From that, we can make the gears that we need. And now we're in a position to make that final miner that we need. And this one is going to go onto here like so. And we'll put this here. And this is going to make stone. And that now means that we can take our existing one here and delete it, because we don't need that anymore. This is going to make stone, but we need to make another one of these. And this one that we make is actually going to put the stone into here. And then we're going to put another one of these down here. So again, we're going to need these. We'll just chuck these in here for now. There we go. Cool. So we're going to make these plates. These plates are going to come to here. All right, and that one is going to make another one that's going to be our stone. In order to make this, though, we're going to need circuit boards, cement. So we can make cement. Just take some rock. Make that. So far, so good. Very easy what we're doing. We've got some new items now that we can make as well. Assembly machine and refiner. We're not going to use those just yet. We're not going to get too carried away. We just want to see our basic production before we go into terraforming. Okay, so now what we're going to do is make our gears. And we'll automate gears and everything else in the near future. But for now, we'll just make some gears. We now need to come across and make these iron beams. We need iron plates. Well, iron plates, as we know, are coming into here. So we've got the output here. We've got the output here. So there's more than enough that we've got there. All right. 3 iron beams. And we need to make 2 circuit boards. Perfect. Now we can make another one of these. And we can place it just here. And now we can run this from here. Straight into here. And from here. Straight into here. And now we've just completely automated the concrete. Oh, sorry, the cement. So that's cement now done. And the last one that we want to do around here, we want to clean this one up a little bit. It's a little bit messy. But we're going to put one more of these down. So in order to do that, we need iron beams, circuits, and gears. Well, we know that now. So gears. Very easy. Oh. Sometimes when I misclick, that happens. We're going to make 2 more circuits. And iron beams. We need 3 iron beams. Brilliant. So let's do this. We're going to put another one of these down here. So we're trying to keep these as clean as we can at the moment. And for this one, we're going to go from here into here. Now, we could even, if we wanted to, make this a straight line. And then when it gets to here, we can just kind of turn it in like that. We can put another one of these here like so. And we want to get it as clean as we can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we do want to try and get them as pretty straight if we can help it. Now this one's going to put quartz in. Oh, I apologize. I've put the wrong thing down. That's my bad. Okay, let me remove that. That was my mistake. That is not what we wanted there. My mistake. That's okay. We can just remove that quite easily. We need a forge. It's actually a forge that needs to go in here, so that's cool. We stick a forge in, and instead we're going to go from here to the forge. So we can do the same thing. We can click from here. We can Alt to go in a straight line to there. And at that point, we can just spin it in. And from there, we can go in. There we go. That's what we meant to do. Because the forge is going to take the input, and it'll automatically assign to silica once the input's in. And so now we're going to have silica. So this is going to be quartz. This is going to be silica. This one here is going to be iron ingots. And this is all of the output so far. Brilliant. So the only other thing that we need to do right now, I kind of want to replace this. Because we've got this lovely straight line, I almost want to put this in a lovely straight line. But I do like the fact that it's on this grid. I like using this grid wherever I can. So I'm okay with that at the moment because these are on the grid and this is on the grid. So they do... Actually, are these on the grid? No, these are not on the grid. So anyway, it's okay. We're going to go ahead and do exactly the same thing on this side now. So we've got this, but we want to split it into 2. So we'll grab our splitter. We're going to put that here. We're going to split this into 2. We'll connect it up. Oh, we need more plates. And that's okay, because we know where the plates are coming from now. So we'll connect that. And then from here, we're going to do exactly what we did before. We're going to make 2 of these. And so to do that, we need more circuit boards. So we can go ahead and make more circuit boards. But to do that, we also need more copper. So let's go ahead and just craft a little bit more copper ingot. Just a little bit. We don't need too much. All right. And then we can also turn around here and grab some silica now because we've got that. Middle mouse wheel onto here. And we're going to put 2 of these down. So what we're going to do is leave a little gap in case we need to move away from it. 1 on here. And we haven't got enough to do this one, so that's fine. So what we're going to do is make these iron beams. We're going to make the circuit boards. For this, we need iron rods, so that's fine. We'll get a couple more of those. All right, and what else do we need? Gears and cement. Well, cement is fine because we've got that now, so we just grab that. Now, look, there seems to be a problem. Yes. For those of you that are clever enough that have noticed, I made that mistake there. Just need to make 1 more bit of cement. Because this has to be the same, so yes. That was my mistake. Oh. And we're going to go from here into here. And this one is going to be for cement. So yes, that's how that should look. That was my apologies. They should be forges, not part producers. Okay, so now that that's all done and complete and we've got what we need, let's now, and again, look, as you can see, we're going to start making lots of cement now. If we've got anything like rocks or anything like that, we can kind of get rid of them because we don't need them anymore. Alright, so rocks are pretty useless. Iron ore is pretty useless. We don't need any of that stuff anymore. So we can press tab, hover on it, and then we can just press X to delete it. Great, that's all gone. Alright, so to make this now, we need 4 cement. We get that from here. So now we can go ahead and place another one of these. Like so. We've got the iron plates, so we can go straight from one into here, and from one into here. And now this one, we're going to use to make copper plates. And this one we're going to use to make cables. Same as what we did before. We're going to go ahead and as they come out, just leaving a little bit of a gap. Grabbing some more plates. Grabbing another one. And we're going to go from here into here. And from here into here. Alright. So now we've got copper. In terms of plates, we've got wire, we've got rods, plates, cement, and silicon. That is everything that we currently need at the starting point of the game. That's it. And we're fully automated, and we're just about there on the power. So if we wanted to, we could put just a little bit more power down just to protect ourselves. We're okay, but if we wanted to just go that little bit further, we could. Now with this, it's a little bit difficult to get these down, and that's okay. So what we're going to do, we're actually just going to put these down behind. So trying to ensure that these are on the ground. They need to go. And if you ever struggle to do this, we can literally just go outside and we can place them this way. Because sometimes they can be a little bit awkward to get down. And so we need to go out, and if we go on person, what we're trying to do at this stage is we're trying to lay these down. If we can't do it, if you're really struggling, look down here until you see this, which is a block. This is going to require rock. Well, that's fine because we know we've got lots of rock coming down now. So we can go to there, grab that rock. And we can actually use this to build up the ground. So if we wanted to, we can actually do this, and actually, as you can see, it starts to build up this ground a little bit. And that would make it a little bit easier for us if we were trying to put these solar panels down. And now once we've got a base for the solar panels, and we can actually put it down and it connects, because that's the hardest part, getting it to connect. It actually builds the ground up around it. Now actually, we need to rotate this one. That's it. And then it's just about finding that right space. It will go. Just got to find that right spot for it. Which is a shame because we had it a minute ago and now it doesn't want to go on there. We'll just build this up a little bit more around here. Oh, make sure. Oh, we died. That's unfortunate. We didn't have much health left. Now, the good thing about dying, it's a good job I can show you this, is you drop a box. We can come and pick that box up and we pick everything back up. So as long as we die near home, we're okay. But that just shows you the challenges of what happens when you die. So let's... we want to rotate this so it's facing the right way, like so. You know what? I'm not worried about it. I'm spending far too much time stressing about this. It's not that important. I'm just going to put them here instead. There we go. It will build the ground up around them, but you can use blocks and things later as well, so that's fine. But we've got 100% now. We're more than okay. All right, let's go back inside so we don't die. And let's have a little look outside. So all of this is now done. All of this. We can now go into the next stage, which is the terraforming. So what we need to do for this is we need to make a water purifier. Well, this is going to be very easy for us to build now. So first thing we need to do is build iron plates. Well, we don't need to do that because we've got them. We'll just grab them. We need to make some filters. Filters need sulfur and iron plates. Well, we've got 4 sulfur, so that's good. But we're going to have to go and find some more sulfur. We also need to make an antenna. That's easy enough. Copper plates, we can do that. And we need 2 rotors, which means cables and rubber belts. Well, cables, we've got loads of those. And so for rubber belts, we actually need to come in here and grab this organic. And we need to turn this, using the workbench, into rubber. So this is the next process now that we want to automate is rubber. We've automated all of this at the top. We need to automate rubber now. And that's going to be our next step. So now we should have enough of that. Let's come out and we're going to make 2 of these rotors. Oh, we need to make rubber belts, sorry. So rubber belts, something else we're going to automate quite early. So rubber into rubber belts. And then we can make these rotors. And we need to make 2 rotors, which means we need another 2 rubber belts. So a lot of rubber. Now don't go making too many of those organic farms. You don't need to. We're going to make a greenhouse in a little while. And we'll use that instead. For now, though, we're going to go and put this in the water. So we'll head down here, stick that down there. And that water pump is now going to take that water with 100% of the power. And it is going to turn that gas that will kill you if you fall into it. It's going to turn it into water. All right, so now we need to make a water pump. So for a water pump, we need 2 rotors. Rotors, we already know, they require us to have rubber. Rubber into rubber belts. Rubber belts into rotors. So that means we need to come inside and we need to grab these organic. And we're still waiting. We're not quite got enough there. We're going to want... That's 19. That's great. That's 20. Perfect. Okay, so let's make that rubber. Let's make these belts. And then we can go ahead and make that rotor. Great. All right, heading outside now, we can go ahead and put this pump down. So we've got all of this space along here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start from here. And we're going to put this down just here. Now that's actually in the water, which is great. And so what that means, even though it doesn't look like it is, that is going into the ground. It is sucking up the water. Now it's going to provide 100% of 0. So it's producing 8 litres a second. And that is because this is only 10% pure. This is still, it's starting now to look like water a little bit. You see how it's starting to shimmer? Whereas over there, it's actually not water. It's more, you can see the gas coming off of it. So this will turn pure. And then we're going to get this. So now we need to build a greenhouse. So let's go ahead and we'll start to plan the greenhouse while we're waiting. So for this, we're going to need iron plates, which we'll get from here. We need organic, which we'll get from inside. And we need glass panes. Well, glass is nice and easy. Because glass comes from silica. Something else that we can automate if we want to. But this will allow us to build our greenhouse. Okay. So the greenhouse, you're going to notice, has an input and also an export. We want to make sure that we link up this input here with that pipe, or close to that pipe at least. So we're going to put it just here, like so. All right, now we can take our pipe, our water pipe, and we can connect this into here. Now we're going to start producing, because we have water and electricity, we will start to produce organic. Great. Now we need a ground fertilizer to irrigate the ground and spread the vegetation. So that is going to be this item here, which guess what? We can already put down. So if I go into the build menu, click on this, We already have enough to do this, but it needs water again. So we're going to place this just here. And the reason we're going to do that is because now if we come back into our menu, we need to build a pipe hub. And the reason we need a pipe hub is because we need to connect this, and it should connect to that existing pipe. Sometimes it doesn't. And that's okay, because if it doesn't, we can just take care of the old pipe. And we can put a new one on instead. Now, it might be that that greenhouse might just be a little bit too close, so it might not work. That's okay. We can just move that if we need to. We'll just move this away a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to connect that pipe up to there. We're going to connect that pipe up to there. And then we're going to connect that pipe up to there. So far, so good. But the problem we have now is that this is 25% water. This has got a bit of water as well. This is going to make the ground more fertile. So, 21% pure. That's going to keep going. Pumping out 21% pure water, which is 20 litres a second. Of which we can see the ground fertiliser needs 30 litres a second. And this needs 50. So we need 80 litres a second we need coming out of here. So in order to get that 80 litres a second, this needs to be at 80% pure. And then that will be pumping out. So we're just going to have to wait. It will gradually start getting better. Now it's telling us we need to build a planet analyzer. Right, so we scroll down. That is here. So to do that, we need iron plates. Again, very easy. We've got enough of these now. We need antennas, 2 of. Well, we know how to do that now. We've got more than enough equipment for this. And we need a computer. And a computer needs 10 circuit boards. Circuit boards needs copper plates. We've got enough of those. So now we make 10 circuit boards. Then we can make 1 computer. And then we've made the planet analyzer. So as you can see, by just spending a little bit of time on the automation, everything now is just so much quicker and smoother to get us through the last part of that tutorial. You could have just crafted all of this by hand. I just don't really think it's a good use of your time. We're going to place this inside. Oh, we actually need the computer though. We didn't make the computer, so let's just do that. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and place this inside. It can go just there and sit in the corner. And it's done. You've completed the tutorial. Press J to open up the task tab for more instructions. So if I click this, I'm in the task tab. All of the tutorial has now disappeared. And here we can see the current terraformation progress. So we're in terraformation stage 1. Fertilized regions is 68 meters squared. Water filtered is 74 meters squared, cubed. Then we have climate regulated, 0 kilometers. Radiation's cleansed, Earth-like atmosphere. So our next terraformation objective is to build an analysis radar to find large deposits of ores easily. Now this says done, but it's not, and that's because it thinks it's this. An analysis radar is something different. We haven't built this yet, even though it says it's done, because it's actually linking to this, which is the fertilizer. So yeah, we haven't done that. But we need to reach 1,000 meters squared of fertilized regions. We're at 80 of 100. This will gradually go up, as you can see, but we need to wait for that to get to 1,000. Once these 2 objectives are complete, we will unlock large sulfur deposits on the radar and a material analyzer. So this is what we currently need to do. Also, if we look at the map now, we can see this area. Oh, we just died because we just run out of health. That's fine. It's, honestly, at the moment, doesn't matter. We just pick our stuff back up. We should probably make some food. We do have to keep eating. That is important. So let's go outside. We'll come down here and we're just going to make a bunch of food boxes. Now we've got the greenhouse, we can make food boxes rather than food cans. And these just fill us up with a lot more health. So all we need to do is just right click on these. There you go. We're back up to 100%. Okay. So this is now at 31%. That's good. That means this is getting better as well. 10% fertile ground. So we're just waiting at this stage. Everything's filling up. Everything's good. But we're only providing 65% of the power that we need. So we're not providing enough power. That means that really what we need to do is put another one of these down. Now, the problem at the moment is that's not going to fit on there, so I'm going to fit it on... I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll put it on here, on this end. Like so. And then we can probably do with coming back just one more run. All right, that's going to leave a little bit of a gap, which is fine, so it's on the same level. We need rods and plates for these, so easy enough now. We've got those. We've got those. So now we can very, very quickly scale up our operations. Now, we don't want to make too many of these. It looks a bit of a mess, but they're only temporary, so that's not going to stay there for long. But now that's back up to 100%, which is great. This is working, which is great. This is working, but we could do with another water pump. That would be ideal. To do that, we need to make more rotors. Now, rotors we already know need rubber belts. Rubber belts we already know need rubber. And this is already a bit of a challenge. So what we're going to do is we're going to output organics. That's going to be our first point of call. So in order to do that, we're going to come out from here. And we're going to build this. So that's nice and easy. We know how that works. Oh, that didn't work. Let's just come down a little bit lower. All right, so we're going to click from there to there. All right, so we've got organics in here, and we've also got organics in here, which we're full up. And now we're going to be filling this up with organics. Great. Now what we want to do is we want a splitter. Because organics are going to have to go in two different directions. So we're going to make a conveyor splitter. And from here, we're going to put this down here. We'll connect it up as normal. There we go. So that goes into the splitter. And now what we need to do is we need to make another one of these part producers. So we need circuit boards. We also need gears. So we'll make 4 gears, 2 circuit boards, silica. Very easy. We've got so much of this now. Just want to finish off these last little parts of automation. We're almost there now. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and make this. We'll put this on here, like so. Then we're just going to connect it up. And then this one is going to make rubber. Great. Now we actually want to keep some rubber. So what we'll do, we'll spin this back around to come back on ourselves to here. So that's going to make rubber. Maybe a little bit further out, so we'll put it here. So that's going to be our rubber. And then we're going to make another one of these, and then that's going to make the bands. And we're going to want to go again. We're going to want to split. So half of the rubber, well, we actually want to split as we come out of here. So from a single, we want to go to another double. Half of this is going to go into here. In fact, I can move this. Let me do it like this. So half of that's going to go into here like so, which will go, we'll put that here like this. And we're going to put another one down here. We need some iron plates for this, which is the next one. We'll put this one here like so. And then we need to get another one of these, which means we need another 3 iron beams. And then the last thing we need is these 4 gears. Oh, not enough iron rods. And look, you can start to see the green is starting to come through ever so slowly. Which is nice that we're starting to see that now. Okay, so we'll put this here. Maybe just a little bit closer like this. And then this one needs to be a single into a 2, which is going to be here just like that. Oh, I need one more circuit board. That's easy enough to make. Okay. So we'll take this, spin it around, put this down here like so. And then using these, we're going to go from in here. We're going to go into here. Now, for some reason, that's not coming out of here, and I don't know why. So we'll just try that again. Maybe they're not getting in correctly, because I think that might have been a bit of a buggy one that we put in. So let's try that again. Because that should go in there. That's better. And then come out there. Perfect. And then that should come in here. And go through there. And that should come in there and go through there. And this one, as it goes in here. And so this is going to make rubber bands. So what we have here is we have organics coming out. The organics that are coming out of here into this container are going into this conveyor splitter. Half of them are going into this part producer to make rubber. Half of that is being stored as rubber. Half of the rubber is coming through into here to make rubber belts. So now we have organics, rubber, and rubber belts. Although we should have put it the other way around, that's fine. That is now automated. We've automated that process. This water is getting better. So 66% of the 80 litres required. This water's at 55% pure now. And look, the green is starting to really show through. So as a result of this now, we're terraforming this land. Soon we're going to have oxygen. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. We have finished step 1 or part 1. We have got through the tutorial. We have fully automated the initial items. If we go to the workbench, everything on here, bar the glass. The glass that's the only thing we need to do. And that's easy enough because that's silica, which comes out of here. So all we need to do for silica, really, really simple. We just need to put a part producer on here, which we already know takes 2 circuit boards. So let's just do that. We'll do this last one because that is the last part of this. Okay, so let me just put this on here. There we go. We need cement. Well, cement we know we've got, so that's easy. That comes into here. Gears. Again, we need to automate gears. Oh, we didn't do gears. Sorry, we need to automate gears as well. That's all right. We're getting there. And iron beams. You know what? We're nowhere near finished. Oh, no, because this is advanced. We're not doing advanced. We're doing the basics. So for basics, it's just gears, glass panes. So glass panes, nice and easy. We're just going to come from here. From the silica that we had, we're going to place this down like so. We'll grab another container. For that, we're going to need a couple more of these. And then we're going to be placing this down here like so. All right, very easy. We're just going to connect this in. Connect this out. And this is just going to go ahead and make us some glass panes. So silica comes in. So now we've got quartz, we've got silica, and we've got glass panes. It will get to the point where it's too much. And it will stack up like it's complete. And that's fine. So it will just push through until it's done. So now that's done. Great. What's next for us? Well, we can get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. The next thing on the basics is we've done the ropes. We've done that. We've done everything along here. So the last thing to do is gears. So gears just requires iron rods. So again, very, very simple. Take this. We're going to make 4 gears. Potentially for the last time. Just need some iron rods. And then we're also going to need to grab... And we're going to automate the advanced assembly bench next. But for now, these are the iron beams that we need. So we'll grab them. All right. From here, we're going to come down to here. Grab that. Oh, we need 2 circuit boards. Apologies. But as you can see, even so, there was a few more bits to do, but it only took a few seconds to do it. Everything now is just super, super quick. We'll put this down to here. Again, connect this one, such. Connect this one to here. And then this one is going to make us gears. And that's it. We're done. We've done everything that we need to do at this stage. If we needed to make anything else, we can push this forward if we need to, so we can make additional splitters and things like that. But right now, right now, this is great. Water's coming out. Water's almost good at the moment. So the water here, 67% pure. That's good. Power, struggling a little bit. And that's okay, because we can just go and grab some more plates. And if we need to, just put another 3 on here. So these aren't going to be permanent fixtures. We're going to move them at some point in the near future. So for now, we're just going to put these 3 down here like this. Okay, cool. Now we've got 100% power. That's fine. Water's working. That's good. This is pumping out enough. So 85% power water now, which is great. Land is 50% fertile. That's good. These are all getting stacked up into here. These are all getting filled up with rubber belts. These are getting filled up with rubber. We've got everything we need. These are getting filled up with gears. These are getting filled up with glass panes. We've got cables and copper. So everything that we need is currently here. And it's being output in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I guess organics, we're not keeping organics. That's fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as an output that we need. Potentially this one would be 9, so we could split that as well. The reason I say that is because later we're going to make a warehouse. And that's going to make life even easier for us. But at this initial stages, we are done. We have now completely automated every item. I mean, apart from food, but we don't need to automate food. We can just make that as and when we need it. It's really not that important. But we've managed to automate every part of material that's currently being made. The crafting parts from the initial bench are done. And so now when we come back in the next video, we're going to look at what we need to do to get to the next level. So we're going to look at what it takes for next objectives, which are inside. There's 2, by the way. There's next objectives here. So this is telling us to explore the planet to find useful resources. So we need to create a vehicle energy cell to power our spaceship. We also need to analyze material to discover new crafting recipes and machines we may need. So these are just things that we can create down the line. But in terms of the mission, these are the mission objectives. We want to get out of Terraform stage 1, and we're halfway there. So that's what we're focusing on at the moment, is Terraform stages. So what do we need to do? We need to wait for that. There's nothing else to do at the moment but wait. So we can finish off getting our spaceship ready in the next video. And then we can look at also automating as much of these crafting components as possible, which is going to be the circuit board, the iron beams, the rotors, and the computers. They're the main items. We also need to go and get sulfur. So we need to go and find sulfur. And it looks like also for battery cells, we're going to need cobalt. So we're going to have to go and get cobalt as well. We can also now make a standard O2 tank. In fact, we can make 2 of them. And we can make ourselves... actually, no, we need a copper plate for that. So that's fine. Let's make copper plate. So we're going to make 2 standard O2 tanks. And we're going to make 1 battery, which means we need 3 battery cells. We need sulfur for that. So we can't do that yet. But the reason we're going to do the O2 tanks is because we add them into our equipment. We've now got more than double our oxygen. More than double. So that's great news. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for video 1. I hope this has been useful. Try to keep this to an hour as close as possible. I will see you in the next video for part 2.